Hello, everyone. I am Mike Mulrooney.
I'm Kellye Duckworth.
Welcome to this episode of Shirley Talk, and today we're going to tell Kellye's story. So you ready for that?
We'll see.
Put her on the spot here. We've done a few things on YouTube about the reason why she got involved in Shirley's Way, and we thought we would kind of go through that story on our podcast and talk about how you got involved in Shirley's Way and why. So for a few years, you had volunteered at some of our events, and you got involved in Shirley's Way, I guess because your mom was sick, right?
Yeah, we started volunteering the first year I remember was 2015. That was my senior year of high school when Mom first got diagnosed. So there was a 5K walk. I don't even think it was yours, but we all wore Cancer Sucks shirts and went out there and we handed out water bottles. It might have been yours. I don't remember. It was so long ago.
I know.
But yeah, I mean, any little thing that we could do, because for those that don't know, my mom never would have asked for help, but her sister, my aunt, her kids and Mike's kids went to school together. And so she'd found out about Shirley's Way, and I didn't know at the time because I was 18 years old, how bills and things like that. I didn't pay the mortgage. I didn't know any of that stuff. So I didn't really know my parents were struggling. So that's how Teresa reached out, and she's the one that actually asked for some help from Shirley's Way for us. So then my mom, of course, being the person she was, wanted to give back and volunteer.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah.
It's a little blurry as you get older. Your mind starts getting
I hate that.
blurry.
I was thinking about that. I was like, you'd think the more I talk about it, the more you remember. But it's like the years go by and those little details and things just kind of slip away.
Yeah, obviously Mom died in 2013, and people ask me stuff all the time, but I don't really think much about it because it's a blur, and I didn't really mentally record it because I didn't think she was going to die.
Yeah.
I never dreamed in a million years we'd be in this situation of people still dying with cancer. I just, I wasn't aware of what goes on in the world when it comes to medicine and things like that. I just thought cancer was cured just like the flu or COVID. We've created a COVID vaccine over the past, a lot of people don't realize that they've been working on a vaccine for COVID. They've known about COVID for over 7 years.
I think 2002 they started working on something.
Yeah. So it's taken them, what's 2021 minus 2 is 19 years. Yeah, I need my math skills here. So 19 years they've known about COVID, and we've been working on cancer for probably a couple hundred years. But what happened to your mom? She had pancreatic cancer?
Yeah, for one, I think it's not funny, but our two different perspectives. You never thought your mom was going to die, and the minute mom was diagnosed, I knew she was going to die with it. I actually thought it was going to be less than a year because she got diagnosed March of 2015, and the following year, July 2014, I lost my godfather to pancreatic cancer. And originally they had given him 30 days because he didn't want treatment or anything. He was stage 4, but he made it 6 months. So the night that she got diagnosed, I just knew. I was like, well, she's not going to make it to my wedding. She's not going to see me graduate high school. Like, I just knew it was going to be quick. But yeah, she ended up fighting for almost 4 years. But she was a bartender for 30 years, worked 40 hours a week, on her feet all day long. And we went to dinner one night, and I looked over at her, and the whites of her eyes were literally glowing. It was crazy looking. And she drank, being a bartender and you're around all that and whatever. So I just immediately thought her liver was failing. So I rushed her to the ER, and they got her in there and did a scan. And by that time, head to toe was yellow. And the doctor was like, you're not supposed to look like this. So they did a scan on her abdomen, thinking that it was her liver too. And the doctor, when we did an episode on bedside manner, I want to tell you he had none. He literally walked in the ER. He was a floating doctor for one, so this wasn't even his hospital. But he walks in, it was me, my mom, and my dad. And he said, well, your liver looks fine, but there's a spot on your pancreas, and we think it's pancreatic cancer.
Just blurt
like
it
that.
out.
And I'm like, and like I said, 8 months prior, we just lost my godfather to it, and I was just like, oh my gosh. And she looked at my dad right then, and she said, we have some things we need to work out.
Wow.
And at that point, like I said, I'm 18. I don't know anything. For one, you can't just, yes, doctors can say, we think it looks like cancer. But they have to do a biopsy. They have to do all those tests, So immediately I'm thinking, oh my God, she's going to die tomorrow, But in reality, we had a few more days of tests and things like that to actually confirm. But yeah, that was the worst night of my life because I had to go home and leave her in an ER with nothing.
By herself.
By herself with those thoughts. I think we finally left at like 2 a.m. that night. I went home, could not sleep because, like I said, I'm crying. I'm thinking, my mom's not going to be there for my wedding. She's not going to see me graduate high school. All those things.
To see baby Avery that you've got now.
I know. Now
I'm sure that's crossed your mind.
It definitely has, yeah. And my dad brings it up every day because, as a woman, you want your mom there. I mean, that's a big thing. But I just kind of keep thinking that she sent a little girl so that, one day I'll have a girl that can take care of me the way I took care of her. But yeah, that was pretty rough. But like I said, she fought it for almost 4 years.
It's insane. It was talking about the baby Avery. My mom loved kids, loved her kids, and she could not wait to have grandkids. And I'm sure your mom was probably the same way.
Yep.
And then she didn't get to enjoy them like she had wanted to all her life.
Nope.
And it's just a huge slap. So, we had a death doula on here the other day, and I thought it was interesting. I'd never heard of a death doula before.
No.
So immediately, I think women by nature are like this. They're nurturers. They jump in and try and fix things. So the death doula talked about helping families wrap their arms around everything that needs to be taken care of. So you kind of jumped in gear and did that for your mom and dad. You figured out what bills had to be paid and all that stuff.
Yeah, that was a wake-up call. Because like I said, I mean, being 18 years old, the only thing I had to worry about was gas for my car. I didn't have any responsibilities. I was trying to go off to college and doing all these things. And she was stage 2. So at that point, after all the tests and things, we knew that she probably had a little bit. She was going to go through treatment. She wanted all of that because even till the day my mom died, she did not want to die. Like she wanted all measures taken. She wanted anything possible. So she's like, you need to live your life. Like, don't worry about me. So I went off to college, went to EKU for a year and a half. I was coming home every weekend. But that's when I kind of started taking up, because they didn't do internet. They didn't, they did Facebook a little. My dad didn't even do Facebook then. There's a 17-year difference between them two. So my dad is 78 now. My mom would have been 61 this year. But I started getting on the internet and looking at their bills, and they were paying 3 times as much a month that they should have been because of late fees. And so I literally got all of their information, all their passwords. I got their debit card information, bank info. And from then on, like at EKU freshman year, I said, I'll take care of the bills. Obviously, it was coming out of their money because I made like $100 a week back then.
But you were trying to make sure they were paid.
Yeah, because it was so easy for me to get on my laptop, click a button, and auto pay it, rather than my dad trying to call and set stuff up. My mom trying to pay a bill while she's getting treatment. Like, it was just way easier for me to take over. So I started doing that. And then the biggest thing that happened that I remember, apparently, so my parents bought our house in 2002. And my mom must have signed, if any of you mortgage people are listening out there, like a 15-year balloon note. I didn't, like, this was all a learning curve. Okay, so you know what that is.
You get a cheaper interest rate.
Yeah.
But basically, you have to have the ability to pay off the loan in 15 years, or you have to have the balance. Or you have to be able to refinance it.
Yep. So 2017 comes around. Well, 2016, I guess, the end of the year. She gets a statement in the mail from our mortgage company that says you owe $40,000 by January.
Yeah, just bring us a check.
Yeah. Gave us like 2 months, and or we're gonna foreclose. And she's freaking out because that was the first house that she had ever bought. She didn't know what she was doing when she bought it, in 2002. So anyway, those of you that don't know me, I have a very large group of women, my mom's bunco friends.
It's a good and bad problem.
It is.
You got 47 moms and 38 dads telling you what to do. Now you got me telling you what to do. I know.
No, I do. But of those 12, I have, a couple that are, in the law field and in the medical field and things like that. So my mom's best friend helped her through the balloon note. Whatever it was, however they worked it out, she ended up getting like another 10-year loan. I guess she refinanced. I don't really know. But figured that problem out for her. But our mortgage to me right now isn't a lot. But to my mom, her and my dad were on a fixed income because she got her disability short term. And my dad was on Social Security because he was retired at the time. And I think they were making $1,500 a month, $1,600 maybe. And their bills were like $1,200 or $1,300. And that wasn't including gas and food and things like that. That was just basic.
Beer.
Yeah, beer. No, but I mean, I remember like the one time she went out. It was a struggle. We had never had food stamps or anything like that. No government assistance. I was on free and reduced lunch at school growing up, but we never took advantage of anything. Like we were fed. I had whatever I needed. But she finally got on food stamps because I was away at school. And she went and filled up the refrigerator with like $300 worth of food, got all of this stuff, and the refrigerator went out. And she lost everything.
Wow.
And I remember that's when they had went out and bought it. I remember finding them a refrigerator and a stove and all that, which we still have now. But I found it on Marketplace. I think it was like $400 for the whole set. And so my dad went and bought it, and we picked it up, and Shirley's Way paid for it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was just one thing after another that would happen like that. She was, frantic, didn't know what to do. And then Shirley's Way stepped in and helped.
Yeah, that's crazy. I vaguely remember that. I remember you telling me that. But it's one of those people that just keep getting kicked and kicked and kicked. Cancer and this and that. And didn't they have a problem with the stamps or something where they tried to pull them away because you made so much money? Or,
I came home from EKU thinking I was going to help.
So you report your income helping. When you report your income, it actually hurts you.
Yep. So the lady at the food stamp office, sweet as could be, she said, if your daughter comes home from school, you'll get more food stamps because there'll be 3 people living in the household now. So I was like, great. So that wasn't the whole reason I came home. I was already coming home every weekend to help out, and I was like, this just makes more sense for me to transfer home to U of L. So I came home, started working back at Tumbleweed, which is a restaurant here, serving tables, making like $100 a night, and I worked 1 or 2 nights a week, and that put us over the limit for food stamps. So they took our food stamps away.
Unreal. Again, we just did a podcast on some issues that drive me insane about our local politicians and government, and I don't know, questions their intelligence.
I know.
It just doesn't make any sense to me.
I didn't understand it either.
Yeah. So y'all got that straightened out, I assume. Did you have to move out again or something?
I had to move out. So I moved to my aunt's house, address-wise. And we were able to get them for a couple more months, and I don't know what happened to them. We never had them again.
Yeah, so the government assistance is supposed to assist. It really screwed things up.
Yeah, but like I said, they had never taken advantage of the system. They both worked their whole lives, and the only one bad thing was my mom never had health insurance, so that was the biggest kicker. But Medicaid and all that was fine for her. But yeah, I mean, it was one thing after another. Did
they handle all that stuff? I mean, did you immediately get her set up on Medicaid or Medicare? Or I don't even know what the difference is. We've had them.
My dad's on Medicare because he's over 65.
And I'm close.
Medicaid is low income. No, she would have to go sit at the, there's like a neighborhood place over by Farnsley Middle School. She'd have to go sit there for hours for food stamps, for Medicaid, anything like that, government assistant wise. Sick, you know how that is. I mean, I couldn't do it because she was applying for herself, so I couldn't do it for her. But I would go sit with her, and we'd sit there forever. I mean, it was terrible. And I mean, I didn't want to sit there, and I knew she was feeling worse than I was.
Yeah, but she was in a generation of never complain.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what she said when she first got diagnosed, was that she'd been having back pain, and she just figured I'm 55 years old, and I'm a bartender.
Careful.
I know. You had back pain the other day.
I know. I have it when I'm standing up walking a lot, but it's a nerve. But yeah, it goes away the next day. I've already had it checked out. I'm kind of a little bit of a hypochondriac at this point with what I've seen and hear people tell stories of. I know. I had back pain for a year and went in. Now I'm dying. I got 30 days to live, and that's kind of what happens.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah. So, it's did you said they were on Medicaid?
Mm-hmm. My mom was.
So did it help? Did you ever see any of the bills? Did they pay that stuff? How did that work out? Do you know?
No, I never seen them. And I asked them, I kept asking, because she would get.
So you might get one big bill one day. You just don't even realize it.
Oh, I'm sure I've gotten them.
Yeah.
I mean, I just throw them away because that was one of my biggest questions. I was like, I can't afford this stuff. And then I thought, are they going to take the house away? Or they, whatever else. But no, that they just went away. I know. I don't understand any of it either.
I wonder how that
But
worked.
Medicaid, I mean, 100% of it's covered. And the only thing that wasn't going to be covered was, I guess, about 2 or 3 weeks before she died, I took her to the hospital, or took her to the doctor, the oncologist, and he kind of said, we have one more thing that may work, and that was, that was it.
Was it free?
No. That was the Keytruda that everybody's talking about.
Which is a lung cancer drug.
Yeah, it's an immunotherapy, which is, way better on your body. It kind of teaches your body to, your own immune system to fight it. But it was kind of a new thing. It was still in a clinical trial period and things like that. Obviously not covered by insurance. So they were, we couldn't pay for it. I don't even know how much it was. But they were going to try to put her in the trial to get it. And she'd never made it. And that was her. I remember her being in the hospital. She kept laying there. She's like, I got to get out. I got to get out. I'm doing better. I'm going to get Keytruda. And that was her hope the whole week she was there.
She never made the trial, or she died before they approved it?
She died before they approved it.
So there's a drug that could potentially help, but somebody somewhere in an office has to approve something that could save somebody's life. Mm-hmm. Is that ludicrous or what?
Know.
I mean, you should be allowed to take anything you want if they think it's going to help you and make you live.
Yeah.
But somebody in a cubicle or in an office is going to say, well, let's see who gets to live today. Yeah. You get Keytruda,
it is.
you don't.
You pick and choose, really.
And then they wait so long, you're going to die. I mean, it's just,
I know.
The lunacy of this world just blows my mind.
Yeah.
If you take your car to the mechanic and they fix it and they don't fix it right, you take it back. They fix it usually free of charge. Mm-hmm. But yet you can take millions of dollars in cancer treatments and they keep pumping you full of stuff that they don't know if it's going to work or not, but yet you got to keep paying for it. I don't understand. I can't wrap my head around that. So anyway, so y'all went through the long road of getting that stuff done. Then you had to deal with the funeral. I mean, it was, this is another topic that, we talked a little bit about, but not all in one episode.
Mm-hmm.
But, that car salesman really tried to do a trick on you for a hole in the ground. Yeah,
that was ridiculous. Like I said earlier, my mom, she never wanted to die up until the last day. She wanted every measure possible, so when she finally did die, her one request was, she literally told me and my dad, if you cremate me, I will haunt you. Like she, born Catholic, she wanted to be buried. And I was going to put her next to her mom and dad, my grandma and grandpa. That's, she was the first child, I guess, of theirs to go. So me, my dad, and my aunt that I talked about earlier went to this funeral home or cemetery. And we're sitting there and we're discussing things. And it was just like a car salesman. And here I am grieving. I mean, I have no idea. And they're like, luckily there's one plot next to your grandma and grandpa. One plot.
Did they dig somebody up yesterday and make it open?
Yeah. They're like, that never happens. We have this plot ready for her, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be $20,000. And I was like, what? I don't have that. Because like I said, she didn't have life insurance. We didn't have any money for anything.
I bet there's a ton of people say just whatever, I want it done.
Well, I'm sitting there and I'm looking, and I should have said this earlier, but my dad, obviously being the spouse, he had final say over everything. But since I had taken care of mom and things like that, he kind of just went with whatever I said. He just okayed whatever. So I'm sitting there and this lady's like, what would your mom think, if her daughter couldn't put her there? And then I'm sitting here and I'm like, well, yeah, what kind of a daughter am I for... here's this open plot next to her parents, and I know she would want to be buried here, but I don't have $20,000. And so then I'm like looking at my dad, and I'm like, do we do it? And luckily my aunt was there, and she was like, let's step out for a second.
Teresa probably said, hell no, you're not doing that.
That's what she did. So we walked out, and then I'm sitting there, I'm like, you're right. What am I doing? I'm sitting here thinking, I'm going to pay this. And I said, my mom would haunt me for spending $20,000 on her burial.
I'm all for commission-based sales jobs and giving people the ability to earn a little extra money, but some jobs just shouldn't be commission-based because you make unethical proposals to people that's taking advantage of a situation.
I would have put myself in debt.
Yeah.
Probably if Teresa wasn't there, because I would have done it. But, you know, and then I thought, because she was already, I guess, I don't know how any of that works, but she was going to Newcomer originally, a funeral home here. And so they had transported her there because I was going to do the funeral there. And I think it was Teresa. She said, go to, what's the one across the street?
Arch Heedy or something like that. Yeah.
The old Hetty Hardy or whatever. She was like, they are a Shirley's Way supporter.
Yeah.
So you should go there. And I was like, okay. So then I had her transported from Newcomer to that one.
Can you run her across the street?
Yeah, I was like, just take her down Dixie.
You call Uber for that?
So she was getting a final tour of Dixie in PRP and Valley Station.
Uber, what's the Hearst, the Uber Hearst.
Yeah. But I don't remember his name either. You know him.
Yeah.
Everybody knows him. But anyway, I sat down with him and Teresa and my dad and told him the same thing. And we went over all of these options, and it ended up costing like $9,000. And you started a donation link for us.
Yeah.
We did a Go Halfers for her headstone.
Yeah.
I mean, I had everything paid for. I think I had to pay like $300 or $400 towards the headstone. But the rest of it was donations from family and friends and, you know, South End and things like that. And I know there's plenty of open plots next to her, so.
Yeah, $20,000 a piece.
No,
no, at the new space.
At the new space. So I was like, this just works out better, you know, for.
You know, I don't know how, obviously nobody knows, but when you die, it's like, all right, you plant me next to somebody, but I can still run down the street. I guess a spirit can run down the street and visit. I don't know how that works out.
She's probably sitting here right now.
Listening to us?
Yeah. Like, Kellye, you better get this shit right.
Yeah.
Excuse my language.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that's an interesting story. Like I said, I knew a lot of it, but we hadn't really shared it with the general public as the reason why you got involved. And then you graduated college, and we just happened to have finished up a fundraiser that was a raffle that raised tons of money, and we had the ability to bring somebody on board. So it's
glad to be here.
Yeah, I feel like we team things pretty well together. So.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, how can people help Shirley's Way? We're really pushing for monthly donations from people. Are we gaining on that?
Money-wise, we are. We were wanting $1,010 monthly donors, but a couple businesses pitched in and did $100 a month. But, yeah, just individuals, if you want to sign up to become a $10 monthly donor, go to shirleysway.org. That's our website. You can check it out there. You can look at our raffles. We have queenofheartslive.org. jokerswildlive.org, and wheelofcashlive.org. Those are Monday, Wednesday, Friday, $2 raffles. They're all split the pot drawings. Lots of money to be made.
Yeah, now we're doing bingo. That's been an interesting journey, 2 days a week. But, you know, what people don't realize, and I've heard people say Shirley's Way is a major organization. I thought, wow, that's pretty impressive. But I don't think they know what we go through to raise money. You know, there's organizations out there that raise millions of dollars a year, and we're not that point yet. You know, major corporations they obviously, some of them know about us, but you know, so many people give to research and things like that, and we're just totally different.
I don't see the CEO of major corporations walking around selling pull tabs at a bingo.
Yeah, really.
You're the face of it.
I know, and I like that nobody knows who I am when I'm there. And word is starting to get out that that's who I am, but I try to stay under the radar with that kind of thing. But we did have somebody, I meant to tell you, I was going to point her out last night at the bingo. This lady said, "Are you the person on those videos?" I was like, "What videos?" And she goes, "I'm just trying to give you a compliment." I said, "On YouTube?" She goes, "Yeah, I saw you the other day." I said, "Yeah, that's me." And I said, "The little one up there is with me all the time too, Kellye." And she goes, "Well, I think y'all are doing a great job." So it was funny to see that she had seen that one of the videos that we had done.
$10 donation. I'll sign an autograph for you.
That's right. Well, Kellye will sign your bingo cards for $10 a month donation.
There you go.
That might be a thing.
I will do it.
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
All right.
Well, subscribe to our podcast. Check out our weekly episodes. They air every Monday, and we'll talk to you soon.
Have a good one. See ya.